Hello everyone. Today in this video we're going to be seeing if the whole of Africa united into the African Union. Sorry that I've been gone for so long and changed from that UK guy to whatever I did. I just didn't feel like doing geography videos anymore and I felt I didn't have a passion for YouTube anymore. But I woke up today thinking I do have a passion now and I want to make these videos again. So I'm going to be spending a lot more of my time making these videos to entertain you guys, and so then you guys can make a loyal fan base for me. Let's get straight into the video. So as you can see here, the whole of Africa has united. In reality, this wouldn't be a good thing at all because of conflicts and everything to do with religion and borders and all that stuff. I would think that if they would do this, the previous country's borders would be the states of Africa. So it'd be like the United States of Africa, and all of the borders that were previously drawn would be the states for individual provinces of Africa. I think that would be great. So if Africa did unite into one big country, in reality, this wouldn't work because of conflicts and religion and all that stuff. But in our world, we're going to say that it did work. We're going to say that everyone united together and just got along with each other. You'd see more connections to their previous predecessors and their colonial powers. So with, let's go to Egypt, for example, over here. Oh, where's that? What the hell? Egypt, for example. Egypt, for example, they would be tied to the United Kingdom, and now with this African Union, a lot more ties would be broken, but some ties will still be there, just very restricted due to who would be the president and how massive this country would be, taking up a lot of the world today. You would see Madagascar try and make bridges over to Mozambique or Zimbabwe or wherever that is. Yeah, Mozambique. You'd see more bridges over here connecting, because they would want to connect mainland Africa to Madagascar. You'd see literacy rates would go up, as well, it would depend who the president would be and what they would do to enforce education and let women be part of education and give better rights and all that stuff. So if there was a good person in power, you would see literacy rates go up. You would see life expectancy go up, as people will have the right resources like toilets and restrooms and all that. You'd see that go up, and you'd see a lot more, how would you say it, more toilet supplies. You'd see a lot more pipes in the ground, or going underground instead, as opposed to now being above ground and causing a lot of disease in countries like Nigeria or Zimbabwe or Ethiopia. Disease would go down a lot, tremendously, due to better facilities to do your business in, and you'd see the life expectancy go way up because people can actually live and start a family. You'd see a lot more of contraception and all that. I'm not going to go into detail of that, but still, life would be better. South Africa, for example, they have this thing called load shedding. My mum is South African, so I'd know this. and I've been there so many times. Been there every year since 2022. You see more like power cuts in South Africa normally today, because their government is so corrupt they can't pay for electricity, so they have stages of load shedding. So they have level 1, which is just power cuts now and then. Level 2, getting a lot worse. Level 3, pretty bad. Level 4, really bad, like power cuts for a few hours. Level 5, power cuts for nearly a day. And level 6, it spans on for a long time. You can't even drink from the taps, and you can't eat like lettuce because it's so unsanitized. It's awful. The roads are falling apart. They blocked off this road in Johannesburg because people are tapping into electricity poles and light poles to get light and electricity, and they're tapping into water supplies. People can't survive. But when you get to the lot nicer bits of the country, you'd start to say there's a massive difference. Going over to Nigeria, everyone just makes that stereotype of, oh, home to the Nigerian princes, Nigerian scammers. It's actually a really nice place. And people think that Lagos is the capital, but no. I don't remember the capital name. I think it's something to start with Ibisu, or I don't know, but they changed the capital in the 90s or the 80s. 90s, I think, 1997 or something. Please comment down below which it is. I don't know. They changed it because they wanted to evenly distribute the wealth and the policies, the political scheme in Nigeria. And ever since then, they've grown tremendously. They've expanded a lot, and they're a lot better country than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. Africa is just getting better. They are a newly developing continent, or as we may say for countries, newly developing economies, which is where they are starting to become a high-income country. They are on the path to that. And not to bore you, we're going to get into the annexing of countries. So let's get into So we're now going to see more war in Africa as they want to expand and take the Middle East, basically, to complete the African-Arabian Union that they really wanted. Because if you search up Africa continent, some pictures you'd see the Arabia in there, because it's connected to Europe and it's connected to here. So Africa does really want to expand over into here to make their trades better with the likes of Russia, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the UK, India, Pakistan, China. China is a big one in this scenario because they want to get closer to China so then they can get better products. Like how everything is made in China for some reason. China gets their supplies cheap and they build it in-house, which means they build all their stuff in China and export it out into mainland countries like the UK, US, but now that US are putting tariffs on, that's going to drop tremendously. So Africa wants to kind of expand a little more into the Arabian Asian territory to make better ties, make better links with China. Not specifically take over China, but you get what I mean. So we see that the Egyptian province of Africa is now wanting to start war and take all of the Red Sea access, which only a bit is owned by Israel and Palestine. or Palestine, whatever you say. So the thing is, they want Africa wants full control of the Red Sea, so then they can focus on better exporting, so people don't have to wait 5 years for all these cargo ships to get through. So then they don't have to go all the way down the Indian Ocean, past South Africa, back up, past Morocco, and then into mainland Europe or into America. They would rather just go through the Mediterranean Sea, or, well, first the Red Sea, but then the Mediterranean Sea, then go out into other countries. So that's what you see there. Right, what's going on here? So Egypt and its troops will land into Palestine and Israel and just push through. But Israel are like, no can do, mate. You can't do that to us. We're literally just going through a war with our neighbours Palestine, so please leave us alone. Egypt are like, nah, we're not going to leave you alone, because we need to have full access to the Red Sea. So, see you later. And with that, you see Egypt and the African Union have taken full control over Palestine and Israel. Now what's left is Lebanon. They push into Lebanon. Lebanon are going through a lot of corruption as we speak, so it is pretty easy to just push in and take them all. And they are all annexed. So, as you can see here, the African Union has taken full control over the Egyptian-Arabian Peninsula right here. I don't know what it is actually called, but I just call it the Egyptian-Arabian Peninsula. So, we see that they have now taken full control over Lebanon, Palestine, and Israel, and they are now going to head into the main Arabian territories, which is going to be a lot difficult because they have troops, unlike them lot, and it's going to be more difficult because other countries will back them up. So let's see what happens next. And in a quick, African Union decide to declare war on the Arabian countries. You see that Turkey is here because a bit of Turkey is in Asia and the rest is in Europe. Why are they here? Because Turkey has a massive tie with the Arabian countries because of religion and trade. Religion as in Islam and all that stuff. So they're getting involved because they're like, we don't want our... Well, how can you say that? We don't want our allies to be destroyed by this new African Union. But little do they know that the African Union is a lot bigger and a lot stronger. So, as we can see here, we see Egyptian and Libyan troops push in, and the new Israeli troops push in. They do not cross the border into Turkey yet, but Turkey do push back in, and now that is an act of war. So they're like, we're gonna push really hard now. So they pushing really hard, dropping from the Red Sea, pushing really through, and it gets really, really bad from here. All of the Red Sea has, not all of it, but most of the Red Sea, which came from the Saudi Arabia, has now been taken by the African Union, and now they are starting to push through. They push on the border between Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Iraq to kind of isolate them, and it seems to work for a bit until their troops get a little smaller. And they have successfully cut them off, with nearly all of Kuwait being taken, and now Kuwait being taken. They push from Kuwait, they go into, let's say this is the Indian Ocean. They push into the Indian Ocean, cutting off access to Qatar, and just going along. And this is really bad because now Turkey area has been cut off, and now Saudi Arabia is in really deep trouble. So Riyadh is over here, which I think is their capital. They push to get to the capital, which they get to the capital successfully, and the whole of Saudi Arabia fall. Seeing this, Jordan surrender. So do Iraq. Syria does not surrender. If we're thinking of the regime before the uprising a few months ago, Syria actually kind of pushed back a little and push into... Oh, that is the wrong one. Syria actually push into Jordan, taking them back, and push into African Union territory. This backfires really hard because now the African Union is pushing much more and now pushing into Turkish territory. And they push along. They push, and cut access to Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia. Syria surrender. Turkey don't. Turkey are like, we're going to fight this war and no one's surrendering. So, the African Union push a little more. And just a tad bit more. And they push in from Syria, the newly taken Syria. They push in from Cyprus region. It's working. Turkey are like, we can't fight this war any longer, or else we are going to surrender. And they get to around here and go, I'm sorry, but we surrender. We can't fight this war anymore. And that's how it goes. With that, the African Union now take control of most of the Arabian Peninsula. And with Turkey surrendering, they take half of Turkey. And Turkey now are a African puppet state, which I haven't marked in light red because I don't think I have to. But they are a African puppet state, and they are ruled under the African Union, but they still have their own provisional government. Just for a bit. We don't know what's going to happen next. But we do know that the African Union declare war on the rest of the people over here, which is, I don't know what country that, Yemen, and the UAE and Oman and Qatar. This is going to be easy for them, they say. And they're completely right, because they take over Qatar in a few days. They push down from Saudi Arabian territory, and they now take full control of the Red Sea. It is now all under African Union territory. They push along the Yemen coast and take all of Yemen's coast. They push and push until Yemen surrender. With that, the UAE surrender. They're like, we're just gonna be under you. And it's now left to Oman. Oman say, we're gonna fight this. And the African Union pushing really, really fast. But Oman hits with, we're gonna take a lot from you. They take half, and going past half of, what am I on about? They're taking all of the UAE and pushing through. Oman are like, yeah, we're gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna win because they're gonna need to take all of that. Yeah, and what happens next is they just get wiped out. Let's see what happens. So, the African Union now have full control over the Arabian Peninsula, which for them is great because now they have full access to the Red Sea and now have stronger links with China. They're going to declare war on Iran next, and this really pees off Afghanistan. Not Afghanistan. Yeah, Afghanistan. And Pakistan. This is really, really bad for some reason, but, you know. And India seeing this, they're like, we now have a chance to fight with the African Union and take a bit of Pakistan, which is what they do. So, seeing this, the African Union are like, we're gonna ally with India and take down these bunch of losers, which they do. So, African Union push into Iran. Only a bit though, as they leave this bit. Iran pushes into Qatar and the UAE, and they push really hard. That looks like a big fight, to be honest. Pakistan push into India a bit, taking this region. But India fight back with a massive push. And they push hard, taking all of Pakistan's coast. They push back, and they push Pakistan out of their territory. Pakistan surrender to India. We see Afghanistan go, right, we're gonna just kill you. So they take back a lot of Afghanistan take a lot back from Pakistan, and they push a lot harder, but they can't push enough. As we see over here, Iran are just pushed back, and we see troops from the African Union land in Iran, and Iran is now in Dudu Street. We see the African Union troops and the Indian troops link together, and they now make a massive run into these countries. They push along, taking all of Pakistan back, push into Afghanistan, push into Iran. Iran surrenders, and then so does Afghanistan. So, let's see. So, India and the African Union split Afghanistan and a bit of Pakistan through, so then they get even amounts, which, in hindsight, is bad, because war's bad, but in this reality is good. They are now allies, so whoever gets in one war, the other one will join in and help. And I think that is really it for Africa's annexing streak. So this is how much Africa has. And it's a lot, I must say. It's too much, really. They have literally maybe even over a third going into a half of the world. They have like two-fourths of the world, a third of the world in their hands, which is crazy. And has never been done since the British Empire regime from the 1800s till 1960. It's very, very, very it's gruesome and exciting to hear in reality, but looking at this is just jaw-dropping to see how much Africa could have if they united all together and fought half the world. They would get this much land. And as I said, in reality, this would never happen because religion conflicts, just massive collisions with barriers and border disputes and all that. So this would never work. This would never, ever, ever, ever in a million, trillion, quadrillion years would never work. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and drop a comment saying, great video, and also join my new Discord server, That UK Guy's Basement, where you can be trapped in my basement forever and never escape, but also have very exciting things to do, like the balls decks, where you can collect country balls, history country balls, any type of country balls you want, and make a completion of balls. Sounds a little weird, but you've got Dank Memer. It's so cool. You get to see memes, post your own memes there. We've got art and media channels, fun events that we can do. We have a lot of things to do in the server. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I know. It's probably been like over a year now, since I got rid of that UK guy. But I'm back now, back in full form. So, join the Discord, subscribe. Let's make it to 530 subscribers by the end of June. Hey, let's get to 400 subscribers before the end of 2025. Because I'm sure, literally, 2025 came around, we blinked, and it's now, we're halfway through the year. It's crazy. So please do subscribe. I would love for you to subscribe. And it means a lot that I have a great community and everyone showing their support for when I did leave. So I will be posting some community posts in the posts place. I'll be posting on my Discord server. Please join there. If you ever do boost the server, or when I do get channel memberships or whatever, if you become a channel member, you can get early access to videos. You can help in suggesting videos. You can become a priority where people suggest a video, but I look at yours first. Everyone's always going to be on the list for me getting suggestions, but I'm always down. So suggest yours in the comments or go to the Discord server. Please join the Discord server. I'm really lonely. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.